Loading. Welcome to Access the Animus.
Hello everyone and welcome to a new video here on Access the Animus. Today we have something different than we are used to see on the channel, as we are going to show you a bit of like the first memories of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Venice, which is like a huge tabletop game that was created and produced by Triton Noir and is a canon game. We're not gonna go too much in the story in this video. We're gonna show you the tutorial missions. So they are actually called memories. So memory 0.1, 0.2, and we're gonna show you a bit of like how the game works. And these are just like the early missions. So it's gonna be just like the first moments of the game, and it gets deeper and deeper. This is a game that can be played in 1 to 4 players. As I'm gonna play alone, if you're playing on yourself, you can have like two characters. Otherwise, each player gets 1 character. The characters are called, like in the main game, they're called Alessandra, Claudio, Bastiano here, and Dariâ. If we can get, each of them has an envelope with cards and details about them. In this situation, like this is memory 0.1, I chose specifically Alessandra and Claudio. So this is like a tutorial mission. So there are different tiles, as you can see. Some are roofs, some are, you know, just like random streets, and some of them have like these black barriers. They mean that they can only be accessed by this side or this side, or this side in this case. So this are actually this is for you to strategize how you have to access the various rooms, and these are the objectives. So in this case, like we're gonna just jump straight into the game. I'm gonna show you a bit of the rules, because like the game is very dense and deep with rules. I'm gonna try and give you like an outline, and it has like, the game has a tutorial. So memory 0.1 doesn't have like an enemy phase, for example. The game is in turns, as most of the tabletop games are, and we have an event turn, an assassin phase, an enemy phase, and an end turn phase. Memory 0.1 doesn't have like the enemy turn, but it has quite a number of elements, like an assassin elements already. So when you start, like we have progression in the game as well. So when you start, you don't start with your fully fledged assassin character yet, but you start with an assassin apprentice, which you get these cards from the various from the envelopes of the characters. So these are from the envelopes here, and at the same time, the miniatures that you have represent the apprentices. In this case, it's blue, and so you get like the this element here, a blue one, and a green one representing Claudio. So this is Alessandra. And you start usually the missions, if I'm not mistaken, from the fast travel station. This is very similar to the ones in Assassin's Creed 2, and especially Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. And there is a bit of story as well to the memories, actually. Memory 0.1 is about, like, it is contextualized in the moments before the siege of Vienna, where Ezio is going to hunt and kill Cesare Borgia. So in this case, in order to prepare the assassins to go to Vienna and support Ezio, some expert assassins have been captured by the Borgia guards. And so our objective is to go and free them. So this is the map for memory 0.1. And these elements here are the objectives. So these are like the prisons and some of them are guarded by the guards that we are seeing here. These are crossbow guards. The game has a rule book and a campaign book. The campaign book the rule book will tell you the rules of the game basically, while the campaign book will tell you the story and how you have to set the map for every mission. So where to put the enemies, where to put the objectives, and which tiles you have to put everywhere. So basically, when you start, each memory has an envelope dedicated to it. So 0.1 has this one, and every time you open an envelope, you don't have to look at all the cards that are inside the envelope, but instead you have to look at the first one and follow the rules that are drawn in that are described in here. So now we open up the events card, and this one has the description. You have to reveal the 4 item equipments cards that can be stored for your assassins. So this tells us that we can open up this other tiny little bag with our items, and then especially it says that we can reveal the equipment, so not the rewards. We're gonna put the rewards here, but we're not gonna open them up. And it says that you can put 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken, for each character. So we have 2 that we put here. As we can see, this I'm going to show you better if I can make it. Basically, this is the description of your character. So basically, this is the character currently as she is. This is Alessandra. This is the potential equipment that she might have. So a sword, or like a one-handed weapon, the hidden blade if she might get it in the future, crossbow or a bow. And these are like the equipment / items. So in this case, memory 0.1 allowed us to have a parachute. And this is like an element that is a reference from Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. And it has its rules. So I'm gonna keep it here. And it says that you can use 2, I forgot to mention, these are the action points. So you, for every turn, you have 3 action points, unless other cards are gonna tell you can have an additional 1. And this is your health. So these are the health cubes that you might grow as you go on in the missions. So going back to the items, we have the parachute that says that it can be used with 2 action points. And it can allow us to go from a roof to another one, and also to assassinate a guard while doing that, which is exactly what we did, for example, in Brotherhood. So let me set it up here. The description of memory 0.1 is this one, basically. So it has the turns that we have. So we have an event phase, an assassin phase, and the end of turn. So we don't have the enemy phase because this is a tutorial mission. So basically what this shows the actions that we can have and how much they cost for each assassin, or for each assassin apprentice in this case. So we have one action cube to complete the objective. So when you get here, you are freeing the assassins that have been captured. You can trade, so at any point during the assassin phase, you can trade. So this means you can move 1 item from one character to another. So let's put these ones, they have to be here as well. So it is 2 parachutes, if I'm not mistaken, for each character. And then you can move, of course. Moving from tile to tile is a 1 action point. Using the parachute, as we saw, it's 2 action points. And then to complete the mission, you have to go back to the fast travel point and use another action point. So this is a very condensed amount of rules. There's so many more. You can see in the book there's pages and pages of rules with a lot of amazing concept arts. So as you can see here, there's 30 to 40, even more rules. But let's keep to the first memory. So basically, again, I'm gonna try and show it as I got it. I hope I'm not mistaken. One last rule, which is pretty important actually. When an assassin character goes in a tile where there is a guard, or when a guard goes in a tile where there's an assassin, there's gonna be a detection test, which is basically represents what happens in the game when you are trying not to stay incognito while the guards are going around you. And in that case, we're gonna have to throw this dice. And what happens here is if we get this kind of face, the assassin stays incognito. If we get this one, it means the assassin gets exposed and the bell is rang. So we have to turn this element into this one. And this means reinforcements are gonna come, not in this specific memory, but this is what happens. So this also represents some of the elements from the games. And this face basically shows that the assassin is spotted, but the bell is not ringing for now. Okay, so let's start. Let's get into the game. We have already had a lot of introduction here. So the first thing that we have to do is the event phase. So basically we have to draw an event from an event card from the event deck and read it out loud. So this one says, it's called "You Don't Belong Here," and it says, during this turn, any detection test on a roof is carried out as if it's a bell ringing, except for the assassin Bastiano. So this is actually a negative event. I'm super lucky, apparently. Except for the assassin Bastiano. So unluckily we don't have Bastiano because we have Claudio here. So any detection test on a roof is carried out as a bell ringing. So what we can do, depending on how many actions we have, is this. Let's start, for example, I'm gonna go directly. Hopefully I'm not gonna die in the first attempt. So let's start with Alessandra. I'm gonna use one action cube to go on a roof, and we saw that we can use two action cubes to use a parachute. And the parachute says move to another roof on this map, and you can eliminate one guard on your arrival square, which is this one. So if I use the other two action, I can use the parachute, so it has to be thrown away. We have like a discarded pile, and I'm gonna make her fly here. And this is because we got to see that the detection tests on roofs are very negative. They're gonna call reinforcements. So this means that, like the card mentioned, that you eliminate a guard on a roof. And these yellow items here are here to remind you, because this is a tutorial mission, that when you get here, you have detection tests. So this was our first move, and then we move as Claudio. So in this case, we could, for example, move him 2 tiles. This is a road tile. If you don't use the third action item, is going to be eliminated. So from here, we can decide to try and have a detection test, but I wouldn't risk it, because there's a special rule for this map that any exposed assassin apprentice is immediately locked in a cell by a guard who finds them. So we want to avoid the detection test if possible, because we don't have any weapons, so we cannot fight for now. This is a tutorial mission, so we have to really go incognito. So we can end the phase here. We ended the assassin phase, and I would end the turn and this way we can hope for a new event and hope that we can have a different encounter here. So the new turn is this one, and it says Florence. During the assassin phase, one assassin can use one action to throw florins on one nearby square. The guards on this square are busy picking up the coins. This should remind you guys, if you have played any Assassin's Creed game, especially the Ezio ones. The guards on this square are busy picking up the coins. They will not perform any detection tests until the end of the assassin phase. So I guess we were luckier than the last time. So than the last turn. So, for example, now we got our action points back, and so as Claudio, we can use one action point to throw florins to the guards in a nearby square, so the guard will not start and activate a detection test. So we have used one action here. We use another action without starting and triggering the detection point, the detection event, and then we use another action to complete the objective. As we can see, there's one action cube required. When we complete the objective, we get this element here that we keep on our side. Each character, and so each player, will keep these tiny bits here, because these will be counted at the end of the memory, kind of like experience points. So we have used all the action points by Claudio. Now we have Alessandra, and we have 3 action points as well here, so we can use one to move her to this, it's called prison in the narrative of the mission. We got another action to complete the objective for Alessandra, and then we can move her back to the roof. So now we have 2 more objectives to complete. But the phase has ended, so the event is discarded. So we start a 3rd phase, and the new event is called Dark Night. Dark Night says, during this turn, one time only, during one detection test, you can ignore and re-roll all the detection test dice that rolled an I or an I plus bell. So this is the event card that we got. We're going to keep it here. And we're very likely, considering you can only access this area from here because we have walls on the other side, we can try and use this one here. Because we can see that Claudio can easily access this area without any interference. So basically, we're going to use our 3 action points again to move Alessandra, and we have 1, 2, and 3. And we will have a detection test. Hopefully, we're not going to die. But we can use this one as well, the event card. So we were spotted, but we can cash in this one. You can ignore and re-roll all the I dice. And we were spotted again. I'm so lucky. So this says that if a guard finds you, if a guard finds the assassin apprentice is taken off. It's like they are taken to a prison, and so the remaining assassin apprentices must complete the memory without them. Isn't it nice for a tutorial mission to already be in a tough spot. So we use the three action elements for Claudio, and we go to like 1, 2, and we complete the objective. So we have this one as well, and then the turn is ended again, and we only have Claudio now. So new event phase, we have corruption. This is a new event. It says during this turn, the first assassin to become exposed after a detection test can give or discard one equipment card for each eye or eye and bell result in order to bribe the enemy. The assassin ignores the result of the test and stays incognito. Not sure if we can use it in time, because we have to use 3 action points to move here. So in this case, we're going to use the 3 action points to move from here. 1, we just stay here, and we can use a parachute to avoid. No, we can move here. It's going to be 2. And so we saw that corruption says you can use a 1 equipment card for each negative result here. So we can try and use this, but we were incognito. Like, this is red, so we can we made 1 move here and then 1 here. So I think third one is here. We were incognito, so we don't have any encounter with the guard. But then the assassin phase ends again. So let's hope to finish this with the last event. Actually, when you finish the events of the of that specific memory, you just have to reshuffle the event deck. So now we have, this is called Shadow. Shadow says, during this turn, ignore the first detection test. Of course, as you can imagine, this is a tutorial mission, so and you don't have any weapons, so the events are very much focused on not being detected. So we use 1 action point, actually 2 to move, 1 and 2. And then we can, thanks to Shadow, we can directly ignore the first detection test. So we can use the 3rd action point to complete the final objective. Now, to fully complete the memory, as we said, we have to go back to the fast travel station. You get to reshuffle the events deck, even though in this case we will not need that anymore. We turn we get again, you don't belong here, but we're gonna move directly away from here. So we have 3 action points, 1, 2, and 3. Complete the phase, use another one, and we use again 1 action point here and 1 action point to fast travel away. So this is how the memory is complete. This was already pretty long in itself because we got spotted. But then the campaign book tells us, when you complete the memory and the memory is synchronized, it says, well done, we're free thanks to the young assassin apprentices. Cesare's forces are leading the assault against the fortress in Vienna and have already managed to take over some of the buildings. But the memory is completed, so you can take the reward cards that we had kept unwrapped, and we can open them up, so we can see that we can get common swords here, and you can give 1 common sword to each assassin apprentice. So we have 1 for Alessandra, even if she was captured, and 1 common sword for Claudio. But also it says here, if you are and give the hidden blade to Claudio. If you are playing with less than 4 assassins, or if Claudio is not in play, place the remaining cards inside the villa envelope. We're not going to get into that in this video, but there's also an HQ system. There's a villa in the game, in the tabletop game as well. So there's a lot of elements, like a lot of AC elements here. But in this case, we have Claudio. So we're going to get our hidden blades. And it says, as you can see, Claudio only. So Claudio is the only character, at least for now, that can use the hidden blade. I would imagine they can also use it because I would imagine well, we're going to see if the other characters are going to get the hidden blade through the tutorial quests. But as we can see, hidden blade, if you are incognito, you can eliminate one guard on your square. So that's pretty much how the assassinations are represented in this mission. And that's pretty much how memory 0.1 is done. All right, here we are with the second mission, the second tutorial mission, memory 0.2. As you can see, I have already set up the map. And we have like this huge tower. You don't have to play with this one, also because I think this one was one of the Kickstarter perks for the game. But it's like it's a very nice cosmetic element that you can add. But it's not only cosmetic. Like in this map, we have actually a tower and where we can synchronize. So we can have like the proper synchronization from Assassin's Creed, and then we can also have like a leap of faith in this hay cart. Before we move on to the actual map and memory, I'm gonna remove these because it's gonna be a bit tricky to have these to see what we're doing here. The reward, one of the rewards at the end of the final mission that we're going to actually talk about here is that, I'm going to get it from the campaign booklet. It actually says, now that the assassin apprentice has completed this mission, they can actually turn into assassin. So from memory 0.2, you can actually start and play as a proper assassin. So you can turn around these cards, and from apprentice, they actually turned into Alessandra and Claudio. So they're not just visual changes, but they also have, as you can see, an ability that costs 0 action points. So in case of Alessandra, we have once per turn after attacking with a sword-like weapon, you can ignore and re-roll a die. And in case of Claudio, for whom we have already gotten the hidden blade, we can actually have like once per turn. If you are incognito, you can use your hidden blade for 0 action points. And visually, we can also change our appearance with our miniatures. So from assassin apprentice, we actually turn Claudio into his proper miniature, if I don't break it. So this is actual Claudio. And at the same time, we will do the same for Alessandra. So we change the apprentice into Alessandra. So now we have our 2 fully fledged assassins. So in this mission, we're going to step up some of the rules, like we're going to add some more, and it's not even the final version. There's going to be even more rules in this video, and for this memory, we're going to show you some of those. We're not going to go into the enemy phase yet, as we're going to see, but as you can see, we have already many more enemies. We have the tower and this square, and we also have more stuff coming. So to start the mission, we have, as we did before, we have another memory envelope for memory 0.2. So we open what we have inside. And again, we have the event card set and the equipment and rewards. So once again, we open up this one, which, as we saw already, has the rules for this memory. Before revealing everything, and as you can see, we actually kept the events and the discarded piles from the previous memory. So the rules actually require you to keep everything. So what it says here, it says shuffle the 4 equipment cards that you get from here, like from memory 0.2. And you shuffle them with the previously discarded cards. So here are the equipment cards. We shuffle them with the ones that we discarded. So we shuffle those and we keep them here. Equipment. And then it says shuffle the 3 event cards and place them on top of the event deck. So we keep it from the previous memory, but we also add more event memories, more event cards that we also have to shuffle, but we have to put them on top. So basically it forces these events to happen before the ones that were from the previous event. And then I already placed it here. As you can see, we have added some more tiles here. This is for the enemies. So now you see that we have our place for our bell token. And we have also like 2 spaces for the crossbow guards. In this case, we have the crossbowman. And it has all the details about him, so we can see this is his life, so it has only 1 red cube. This is his attack, so he can attack once, and then he has it says that he can perform a detection test. He can retaliate. We're going to see that here. So they don't have a proper in this memory, they don't have a proper enemy phase, but they can retaliate if you attack them. So now that we are proper assassins, we can actually attack with the swords that we got in the previous memory, or with the equipment that we might get later. So we keep it here, and this is the area actually for the other guards that use swords or knives. And we also have a compass here. And the memory book, the campaign book, actually specifies where to put the north for this map. Then we place this tower card, and why do we put this? Because this memory and many other in the games don't only have the main objective, but they also have the 100% synchronization objective, very much like the Ezio games and the subsequent ones. So in this case, the objective, let's go into the narrative of this mission. It actually says, events escalate in the fortress in Vienna, besieged by Cesare Borgia's troops. Under the cover of darkness, now is the time to take action. Thanks to the assassin apprentices, we're now free and armed. Ezio needs to approach Cesare. These are the events from Brotherhood. This is highly risky if Cesare wields his famous and fearsome pistol. The one that we needed, that he used to kill Uncle Mario. We need to infiltrate the weapons room and sabotage the gun. We need to be extra careful with the guards. They will chase and attack us on sight. So the objective here is to find the gun that is also described here, as you can see here. And the objective here is to manipulate ruin the gun. But there's also a 100 synchronization objective that is called panoramic view. And basically you have to climb the tower, synchronize, and then there's not just the action of synchronization, but synchronizing a viewpoint like a tower in this game actually reveals new stuff on the map. So we start the memory like this, and then when we get to synchronize, if we don't die before, when we get to synchronize the tower, we're gonna see what we can spot from atop of it. So this is pretty much it. There's also some more stuff. In this memory, we can also learn how to hide bodies and also obtain objects from their bodies, as it was the case from, well, pretty much every AC game. And in this case, it's even more relevant because you get actual equipment that you can use with your characters, and it's not just resources or stuff like that. So I think we have everything here, so we can start. So again, we have our action points. We start from our fast travel section, and this is where we have to go back after we're done. So I would start with Claudio and try to get on the roof here on my road to go to the tower. So let's see if we can actually make it. So we use one action point to move here. We have a crossbow guard, so we have to do a detection test. And of course, he spotted me. And also, like, the bell token means that there's an alarm ringing. So in this case, we can actually trigger combat. And in this case, our only combat weapon is the common sword that we gotten as a reward from the previous mission. So the sword works this way. So basically, the attack phase works this way. The weapon has like, it shows how many times you can throw the dice for the attack. In this case, it's 2. And the attack die has this symbol, which means a hit. This symbols, which means that the guard is actually parrying your hit. So basically, you didn't do any damage. And then he has this symbol, the assassin symbol, and basically this triggers the effect that is written on the weapon. So in this case, for a common sword, the assassin symbol says, one guard on the targeted square moves back to a nearby square of your choice. But at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, this also triggers a damage point. So it's rule number 16, and yes, the assassin logo also triggers damage. So it pushes enemies. The common sword pushes enemy to another tile only if they have 2 life points, 2 health points. Otherwise, they die immediately. So as we said, common sword means throwing 2 dice. So we throw the dice, and we have 2 hits. As we saw, the crossbow guard only has 1 life point, so basically he is dead. And but we were spotted, so we should actually add this red signal underneath and remove the green one to make it easier. We can just put it here, and basically this shows that we were spotted here. So what happens is that now we are exposed and we're not incognito. So what we have to do is to go back to incognito. Is if there's not any other guard in this tile, we have to move our assassin in another tile. And this will stay here to show our last known position. This is again another element from past Assassin's Creed games like Unity, for example. But at the end of the turn, it will be removed. So we can remove the body with the cost of 1 action point. We can remove all the bodies from one tile, and at the same time, we can search their bodies and see what we can find. So we use 1 action point. We remove the guard, so it will not, like, its body will not be spotted, and we get the first equipment card, which is called Town Crier, as you can see here. And Town Crier, it says, for the cost of 1 action point, if there are no exposed assassin allies in this map, the Town Crier changes the alarm token to the green alarm token, and it removes all the last known positions from the map. In this case, we don't have any nearby guards, so actually we can actually use it to remove to put this back to green, to a green state. If I know myself, it will not stay there too much. So this is the discarded pile. So let's keep it here like this. So we have finished the action points for Claudio, but we have all the action points for Alessandra. So we move twice and we go and try and attack this guard. We try and see the detection point, and the guard detects us but doesn't rings the alarm. So the guard detects us, but again we have the fighting phase first, and Alessandra has the common sword again, so we can throw 2 dice for the attack. But also we have her ability, as we saw earlier, that says that once per turn, at no cost, after attacking, we can ignore and re-roll one attack die that rolled a parry. So basically, if the enemy parries our attack, we can re-roll the dice and see if we can attack them again. So we have 2 dice, and we have this one, which, as we said, it would push the guard to another tile if they survived. But in this case, it also has one damage, so the guard is dead, and we don't have to change and re-roll this parrying die. So we have used the 2 action to move and the 1 action to attack, so we cannot remove the guard's body yet. Did I forget to? Yeah, I think I forgot to use the event card at the beginning. Look at me, I'm still learning as well. Sorry about that. So the actual event that needed to be turned and to activate at the beginning, it was called Full Moon, and it says at the end of the assassin phase, which is this one. Any assassin or ally on a roof is subjected to a detection test with one of these die, which is nice. I thought we could make it alive, but apparently, well, we will stay alive, but now he was spotted again. But thankfully, we don't have any guard around, so they will not attack or retaliate. So again, he is exposed now. And we will have to move to another tile to make Claudio incognito. So this is discarded. I should have done it earlier. And then we get to a new turn. In the new turn, let's do it properly. So activate the event card immediately. And it's called Missing. Missing says, during this turn, you can hide up to 2 bodies located on 1 square of your choice on this map for a cost of 0. Usually you have to use 1 action point. 1 or more assassins on the square can search the bodies, which is also something that you can already do. Okay, so now we can move on with the assassin phase. And let's go with Claudio and try to approach the tower. So we use 1 and 2 actions to move here. And as you can see, there are some additional tokens here named 8 and 9. They are a reference to the rules number 8 and 9, where the number 8 is a reference to this, like the hay cart. In general, it's called hiding spot. And basically, in further and new missions, you will be able, I mean, we can do that even now. You can actually hide in the hiding spot, and you can get fully incognito, and guards going around will if they were walking around, you wouldn't have to do like the detection test, if I'm not mistaken, and you will be hidden, and you would also be able to do an assassination from the hay cart or like from the hiding spot, because I'm sure that in the other tiles maybe you can get like sitting down and like do some social stealth kind of stuff, I imagine. You can also hide bodies in there, and you can also get out of the hiding spot at the cost of 0. Now, any of these tiles can allow you to access the tower. And the tower, which is rule number 9, it says that in order to climb atop of the tower, you can use another action point. So we will have Claudio go on the top of the tower. Imagine if it was like on the top of the actual miniature, not really miniature tower, but and we cannot do anything more from here. I'm not sure. Yes, because like the synchronization actually costs one more action point, so we will have to wait for the next turn. Now, moving on to Alessandra, we have our 3 action points. We can use one to hide the body and search it, so we can get another equipment card. And we have a smoke bomb. So as you can see, there are smoke bombs in the game as well. And this equipment, which can be used or also traded between the assassins, it says at the cost of 1 action point, you can target a nearby square, so you cannot use it on your square. And any exposed assassin or ally on that square becomes incognito, even if they are exposed. So you cannot, if I'm not mistaken, you cannot use it as an offensive tactic, like to confuse the guards and attack them. But you can actually use the smoke bomb to make your teammates, your other assassins, incognito again. So we have 2 more action points, and considering that we have to attack these 2 guards, we can decide to do different stuff. We can actually just stay here and wait for Claudio to go around. But actually, considering we have more action to take, I'd actually use remembering that Alessandra has a parachute that she can use to move to another roof and attack a guard for free, basically, apart from the 2 action points. I think we can move her back here and then go on the roof here and then proceed to attack the other guard. So we finish the turn, discard the event, and look at the new event here, which is called Fall of the Wall. So Fall of the Wall says immediately select 1 small tile, excluding indoor tile, so one of these one, having a wall in contact with a medium tile containing a tower. So we could use this was meant to be turned. Okay, so we could turn this one, for example. Then place any tokens or miniatures that were on it before this event back on it. So basically, in this case, for example, we have this one that has like a wall close to the medium tile. And this is useful because if there are walls, you cannot go and move from here to here, or from here to here, or from here to here. But if we turn this way, as the event card says, now from here we can go directly here without the hassle of going the other way around. So let's continue with Claudio, and now we can synchronize. So synchronizing the tower, it allows us to see what happens around. So as we said earlier, we had a card dedicated to the tower, and it says, reveal this card as soon as an assassin synchronizes at the top of the tower, which is what we just did. If no assassin has synchronized before leaving the map, return this card to its envelope, but we actually want to do our 100% synchronization objective, so we actually synchronized. And so we turn the card, and we have what you can see here. So basically, it has a description that says, from the top of the tower, you can see a well-guarded chest, and it says, add 1 chest and 1 crossbowman miniature on the map. It actually says where to put it. So looking at here, and from my perspective, it should be here, which is where the shop is located. So I already prepared it. We add a chest, but also another guard, and it's a crossbowman. And thus, this is the card that we have. So we can perform a leap of faith with Claudio. So we have also that in Brotherhood of Venice, and it's at the cost of 0 action points. So basically we have Claudio going into the hay cart, and we still have 2 action points. So we can try and sneak up on the guard, for example, because we can remember that once per turn, Claudio can use the hidden blade for a cost of 0. So let's try, hopefully, and not die. So we have 1 and 2. So we do the detection test again, and we get spotted. So we cannot attack at this point. This was removed from earlier. So at this point, in this phase, we don't have the enemy phase, so the enemy doesn't attack actively. So we're gonna have to wait for the next turn for us to attack him. But we will not be able to use the hidden blade because we're not incognito anymore. Moving on, we have to still complete the turn with Alessandra. So we move her here, and then we use her parachute here. And he says, if you are on a roof or at the top of the tower, so we could have used it here from here as well. Move to another group of this map and eliminate 1 guard on your arrival there. So we discard the parachute and we get Alessandra here, and the guard is dead. We have used the 2 other action points for the parachute. So the turn is over again. And then we can use another event here. So new turn, we're almost done, hopefully. Dark Knight says, during this turn, it's one of the cards that we saw earlier, 1 time only, during 1 detection test, you can ignore and re-roll all the eye dice, all the dice that rolled an eye or an eye plus bell. By the way, we were spotted, so actually this should be like this. Okay, so we continue our exposed situation with Claudio. So we have to actually attack him because we're not incognito, so we directly attack the guard. And in order to attack the guard, we use the common sword because this is what we have. And using the common sword, as we did earlier, it means using twice the dice. And it says 1 blow and 1 parry. So the 1 attack kills the guard. As you can see, it's pretty easy. You don't have to go back and forth. So we have killed our guard for the cost of 1. That was the attack. And then while we are still exposed, but we have no other guards in the tile, we can open the chest first, and it costs 1 action point. So opening the chest, basically, it means that from the item pile for mission 0.2, there was also a list of chests, as you can see. And these you don't have to shuffle, but you have to keep them in the order, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you have to open them in the proper order. So we have to open this one. And this is an armor. So basically what we have to do here is, Claudio has found it. So we have to put it in this position specifically, make it go underneath. And it says that, well, I can show you here again. It says that it adds 1 life point, 1 health cube. So we have to go to our box of life cubes and get another one. And this is pretty much like the Ezio games. So what you have to do here is like armor basically means 1 more life point. So we get 1 more here. And then we have also 1 more action that allows us to remove the body from the tile here, and we can get 1 more equipment item. In this case, it's another parachute. So now Claudio is the parachute man because he has 3 of those. And we also have Alessandra, who now can dispatch the body here at the cost of 1. So we get another equipment. And this is the throwing knives. This is one of the other famous and very common elements between the early games of Assassin's Creed. But instead of being an equipment item, it's actually a throwable. So we have to keep it in this position on the assassin tab. And it counts as a weapon. So you can use it, but you can use it, you have to use it not directly on the table, on the tile where you are, but on tiles that are next to you, because it's a throwable. So Alessandra has the throwing knives, and actually we can move her of 1 more spot here, and then I would wait, because basically when you attack, if you don't kill your enemies, they will retaliate, but all the enemies on the tile will retaliate. So if you go inside and you attack and you don't kill the enemies, they will retaliate, both of them at the same time. So actually, I forgot, we have to remove this because we opened the chest box, and actually add this token to the ones that we have, because at the end of the mission we will have to tally up everything that we got up until that moment. So I would actually wait with Alessandra there, so that we can get Claudio here in the next turn. And now we don't have a wall here, so we can go directly there. So we reset the turn, hopefully, if I'm not mistaken. So that's it. The next event is corruption. During this turn, the first assassin to become exposed after a detection test can choose to discard 1 equipment card for each detection test. Well, for each eye or bell, in order to bribe the enemy. The assassin ignores the result of the test and stays incognito. So now what we're going to have to do here is getting inside the tile with 2 guards means that you have to do 2 detection tests for each of the assassins. So we're going to try and go in with Alessandra first. Actually, no, let's go with Claudio first. So we move twice, 1 and 2, and when we get, because this is our objective, remember we have to break and ruin Cesare's gun. So now we have 2 detection tests here for the 2 guards. So the first guard doesn't spot Claudio, and the second one spots him and rings the bell again. So he is spotted here, but here we have 1 more action point, so we can actually attack one of the guards. And again, attacking means, with a common sword, means throwing 2 dice. So we threw the dice, and they both mean a blow. So we actually killed the crossbowman, because as we mentioned earlier, it has 1 life point. We actually did 2 damage. And in this case, we don't have a direct attack, as we mentioned, by the enemies. So we move on to Alessandra, and we have 1 more move here to get inside the room. We have a 1 detection test, if I'm not mistaken, again. And she is spotted again. Look at me and my luck. So at this point, actually, we could have used the throwing knives earlier. We could have used the throwing knives here and try and kill the guard without being spotted, but let's try and have like a super big fight with the final left guard. So we can use like 2. We can use the common sword by Alessandra, and he parries both attacks, but but this means that the guard can actually counterattack. So in this memory, the guard can actually counterattack. And basically, it means each enemy present on the target square performs one attack on the assassin that has just attacked and received the parry. So basically, we're going to have to throw this dice. This dice basically means the attack of the guards on us. And this means that they are actually hitting us. And this means that actually we are parrying the hit. The crossbowman has one attack, and the players decide which assassin it goes on. And in this case, it was Alessandra who attacked him. So let's see if he damages her. No, she parries the attack. So the turn is over, if I'm not mistaken. And so we get the final turn, and we have shadow. It says during the turn, ignore the first detection test, but we are actually both have been spotted. So we just have to go on and fight our guard. So let's have Claudio, who has an armor, so more life. Let's have him attack the guard, and he actually kills him with this one, with the assassin logo. Means that the guard is dead as well. And if we have one or more assassin in here, remember, it means that we need to use 3 action points to complete the objective. So we can use actually both action points from the assassins. So we can use 2 from Alessandra and 1 by Claudio, and the objective is completed again. So we have 4 more experience points, and thus now we have we have still 1 action for each. So our assassin can now run away. We can move on. We don't have any guards, so this is just a matter of time. New turn means new card. We have the 3 action points. They both go here using 2, and then the last action point to use the fast travel. And thus, with this, we have completed the mission. We were spotted a number of times, but we're done. And so this completes the mission. And as we saw in with the first memory, we go back to our campaign book, and it has a description, and it says, just in time, we managed to sabotage Cesare Borgia's pistol. Ezio can now approach and eliminate him. An assassin apprentice appointed by the Brotherhood has retrieved Alessandra, Bastiano, and Daria's hidden blades. We finally have a level playing field. Let's now move on to the second part of Ezio's plan. So this is what it says in terms of narrative, and in terms of gameplay, it actually says pick the rewards for the memory 0.2, and it says that it has award each of these cards to the other assassins that are not Claudio, because Claudio already got the hidden blade from the first memory. So we give one to Alessandra. We don't have the other assassins here, and that's how the memory is completed. Now, one thing that I didn't mention earlier is that within the campaign book, there is the final pages are called Diary of Memories, as you can see here. I'm going to actually put it on the tile here, and basically on these ones, you're going to have to complete them by saying how many XPs did I get? Did I get a chest in memory 0.2? Did the full synchronization by going on the tower? Did I get full incognito? So basically, this is like your diary of the missions that you have done, and the game actually gives you stickers that you have to put here to remind you if you actually did the mission 100%. If you synchronize the tower, if you got all the rewards, and you actually have to get them and put them on the book. I didn't do that because this is just a tutorial to show you how it works, but basically that's it. This is how it works, and it goes for all the memories for this campaign, and of course there is one, there should be one also for the other campaigns that are added to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Venice, which are called Tokyo 2021, which is the modern day campaign. There is a Roma expansion, which is, well, of course, it's focused on Rome. And then the Creed versus Crows expansion, which is focused on, if I'm not mistaken, you can pick both sides, like the assassins and the crows, which are this, it's not a cult, but it's like a group of enemies that were introduced in some of the mobile games from the past years. So there's a lot, like this was just a very, I cannot say brief, but it was just a taste of the game as it is. There's a lot of story in there. I'm not gonna spoil it too much, but expect some of the story elements that hardcore fans are interested in terms of assassins and templars, but also first civ. And also there are some recurring characters, and not just in terms of story, but also there are miniatures like Leonardo, for example. There's Layla in the Tokyo 2021 expansion. So there's really a lot of stuff for you to do, and especially to play with your friends. So I really suggest you try this game out, because it has so many elements of the Assassin's Creed franchise represented in terms of tabletop game, of course. But they are a lot of familiar elements from the Ezio games, especially. So for the nostalgic fans among you, I really suggest you try this game out. Maybe you try the main game and then see if you'd like to try the expansions as well. But anyway, this was just a small taste. I really want to thank Triton Noir and the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Venice team for allowing us to make such a brief review of the first memories of the game. It really was super interesting to test, and I really suggest you all try it if you get the chance. So thank you all for joining me and us in this video, and we'll see you in our next video.